Good morning and welcome to the August 16th, 2024 regular meeting of the Baldwin County Commission. We are here to start our meeting, and we have Pastor Garcia from Celebration Church here in Fairhope who will lead us in the invocation. And Commissioner Gruber, will you lead us in the pledge?
Okay. Let us pray. Dear God, we want to thank you so much for everything that you've given us and blessed us with, Lord. Today, we just pray over this meeting that you give us wisdom and insight, Lord. God, we just pray that you help us to steward what you've given us. God, we also just pray that you help us to make Baldwin County the best that it can be. Lord, we thank you in advance for the things that you're doing now, the things you're going to do, and the things you've done. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please join me in a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Commissioners, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the April 2nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the April 2nd, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
I have a motion by Commissioner Gruber. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McKenzie. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. The next item is the payment of our bills.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve our bills.
Second.
Now we have a motion and a second to pay our bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. The next item on the agenda is a notification of interim payments approved by the Clerk Treasurer as allowed under Policy 8.1. Which leads us to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda, which was discussed in the work session prior to this meeting. There is one item of note, which would be there is an addenda item, GA1, that we included in the consent agenda. So we will not be voting on that in the addenda. We're adding that to consent.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion we adopt our consent agenda.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Ball, seconded by Commissioner Gruber to adopt the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. It's passed. All right, so now I get to flip all the way over. Let's put these on so I can see.
Madam Chairman, if we got to bring that in.
Okay, we have one item that we're going to move. I'm going to move the, there is an addenda that came up that is not, this is one that's coming from the floor. This is an item that David Connor is going to come up and present to us, and we're going to move that on up so that we can take a vote on that. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Thank you. Here on behalf of your consortium of attorneys that represent Baldwin County in the national opioid litigation, there has been a proposed settlement that's been agreed upon to settle claims against Cardinal Health and Syncora, formerly known as AmerisourceBergen Drug Company. I have an agenda action item for you that recommends the approval of this settlement and the authorizing the chairman to execute any and all documents related to the settlement to affect that settlement on behalf of Baldwin County. It will be based on the previous allocation agreement agreed to between the state of Alabama, the litigating entities, local government entities, and the litigating healthcare entities that are involved in litigation on the same allocation form as I understand it previously agreed to by the other settlements. As you know, as a background, the Baldwin County Commission was involved early on in recognizing the problems with this opioid epidemic and the impact that it has on local government, sheriff departments, mental health, all of these agencies, and the impact it's had in local areas. And you retained attorneys to represent you in the litigation. You were one of the original filers of the litigation, and you've continued to follow along the way. We presented settlements to you as they have come, and this is the latest settlement that's being offered and to agree upon. So again, the recommendation is to pass Resolution 2024-111, which approves of the settlement with Cardinal Health and Syncora, authorizes the chairman to execute any and all documents, and also has a memorandum of understanding as part of that regarding the allocation of funds from the Endo and Mallinckrodt bankruptcy. It is our understanding that the state and local agencies and government agencies have agreed through council upon the transfer of some of those funds to offset and to minimize reporting requirements that are required through the bankruptcy. And so it is, as a general rule, the idea is that the state will keep the Indo-Mallinckrodt bankruptcy to the tune of about $5.5 million local governments, and then the state will offset that from their portion of the Cardinal Health and Syncora, so it'll be a $0 exchange, but instead of having 67 agencies in the state making reports on an annual basis, the state will be responsible for that report. And we also present that to you as well. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer it, but that's the recommendation.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion we adopt Resolution 2024/111 as outlined by our counsel, David Connor, and all other matters pertaining to this case.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Ball. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Gruber. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you, Mr. Connor.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Which brings us to the presentation portion of our agenda. The first item in presentation is a proclamation for Fair Housing Month. I believe Commissioner Ball will be presenting that. So those who are here for, is it Evelyn Hall with Baldwin Realtors?
Yes, Evelyn wasn't able to make it today.
Oh.
You know, realtors have to answer the call of their clients when they get them. So I'm Kayla Sanders. I'm here with Baldwin Realtors as the Director of Marketing and Communications. Thank you for having us this
Thank you.
morning.
So we're going to share holding this while our administrator reads this report.
Yes. Okay, proclaiming the month of April 2024 as Fair Housing Month in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whereas April 2024 marks the 56th anniversary of the signing of the Fair Housing Act, Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, as amended, establishes national policy for fair housing without regard to race, color, religion, sex, familial status, handicap, and national origin, and encourages fair housing opportunities for all. And whereas Baldwin Realtors is committed to highlighting the Fair Housing Act by continuing to address discrimination in our community, to support programs that will educate the public about the right of equal housing opportunities, and to plan partnership efforts with other organizations to help ensure everyone of their right to fair housing. And whereas the Fair Housing Act, Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 prohibits discrimination in housing on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, familial status, handicap, and national origin, and whereas fair housing improves economic stability, community health, and human relations in all communities, and whereas fair housing is integral to the ethical commitment of the members of the National Association of Realtors and the Baldwin Realtors to serve their clients, customers, and communities, and whereas acts of housing discrimination and barriers to equal housing opportunities are repugnant to a common sense of decency and fairness, now therefore be it proclaimed by the Baldwin County Commission in regular session assembled that we hereby proclaim April 2024 as Fair Housing Month in Baldwin County, Alabama.
Someone come down and get it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Fair Housing Act into law on April 11, 1968. The Act states, "It is the policy of the United States to provide within constitutional limitations for fair housing throughout the United States." The 1968 Fair Housing Act prohibited discrimination based on race, color, religion, and national origin. In 1974, the Fair Housing Act was amended to prohibit discrimination based on sex. Today, the National Association of Realtors prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, or national origin by realtors and realtor associates. The National Association of Realtors is America's largest trade association, representing 1.6 million members. The term realtor is a registered collective membership mark that identifies a real estate professional who is a member of NAR and subscribes to its strict code of ethics, which include Article 10 on upholding the Fair Housing Act. As the local chapter to NAR, Baldwin Realtors raises up ethical experts committed to fair housing. Every April, Realtors commemorate the passage of the Fair Housing Act and reflect on housing discrimination and segregation, past and present. As community leaders, real estate professionals have an opportunity to be a part of equitable and inclusive change. Today, Baldwin Realtors invites all of Baldwin County to join us in advancing equitable opportunities and expanding homeownership.
All right, thank you so much for being here today. Commissioners, we have
Madam Chairman,
proclamation.
I make a motion that we adopt item number DA1, the proclamation for Fair Housing Month, April 2024.
All right, we have a motion,
I'll second.
and we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much for being
Thank
here
you so
today.
much.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for what you do.
Appreciate it. All right. Next, drum roll, please. I think this is why most of y'all are here. I hope it's not for all the planning and zoning cases, but if it is, it is. Anyhow, this is the fun part of being up here. P&Z's not. Okay, so, sorry.
You're right.
Miss Ashley.
All right. Thank you so much, Commissioners. It's an honor for Rebecca Peacock and I to be here today as Planning and Zoning staff to assist the Environmental Advisory Committee with the nominations for the 2024 Environmental Stewardship Awards for Baldwin County. It's a great honor to be here, and with that, I'm going to introduce our chair and co-chair, and we'll start the presentation. I will do a little bit quick housekeeping. We will have the resolution read, the award recipient's summary will be read, and then you will walk up and receive your award, and then we will stand back here, and then we'll do a big group picture at the end, and then the resolution will be approved. So with that, I will introduce you to Brett Garr, our chairman of our Environmental Advisory Committee. You're behind me. He would like to come up and introduce our co-chair. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. I wanted to say thank you again for continuing this process, because it's very important that the community understand how important the environment is, and you doing this lets them know that. With that said, I'm going to introduce Tom Schmidt, who's the longest running member of our committee and a much better speaker than me.
Recognize this.
Oh, yes, thank you. And I also want to, I'm not going to call everybody's name, but everybody that's a committee member, would you please stand up so the commission can see you? I know we got Paige, Sudi, Casey, and I said I wasn't going to say names, but I think, and Leslie. And Matt,
Thank you, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. You have the floor.
Good morning. This is the 2024 Environmental Stewardship Awards. Whereas in July 1998, the Baldwin County Commission established the annual Environmental Awards Program. And whereas the program recognizes citizens, businesses, and agencies that illustrate sound environmental principles in their day-to-day operations, in hope that all citizens may learn from the examples set forth by their neighbors, and whereas the actions of the award recipients enhance protection of Baldwin County's natural resources, and whereas the actions of the award recipients ensure a clean water future for generations to come, and whereas the 2024 award recipients' actions are commendable, now therefore be it resolved by the Baldwin County Commission in regular session assembled that the Baldwin County Commission commends and congratulates the following award recipients for their distinguished service, strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all citizens of Baldwin County. The first category is agriculture forestry, the Baldwin County Soil and Water Conservation Districts for their conservation ag program, education program. The Baldwin County Soil and Water Conservation District's Conservation Ag Education Program includes the Land Judging Practice Competition, the Water Festival, and the Progressive Agriculture Farm Safety Days. These programs have instilled knowledge to hundreds of students throughout Baldwin County on agriculture, safety, and water quality, which are important topics for natural resource protection. The Conservation District's Ag Program is an inspiration and deserves recognition for the program's distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. And I believe we'll have the folks from the conservation districts come forward.
Hey, Toby.
We're going to get you guys all to come up at the end, everybody together. Yeah, we're going to.
Just a quick word from the commission. Thank y'all so much for y'all's support over the year. Guys, without the support of the commission, we try to, all these, I want to definitely introduce this Tobin Street, Don Hopper, April Griffith, Blaine Chastain, and Adam Bertola, and myself, Randall Hastings. We're on the council, the Salt and Water District, and you know it's a donated job that these guys do a great job. But thank y'all for the support and thank y'all for the support.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Ashley, do you want to just do one big group picture at the end?
We'll do one big one.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
In the second category, large business, the Grand Hotel is the recipient for their sustainable business practices. Since opening its doors in 1847, the Grand Hotel's identity has been inextricably linked with a proud heritage as a social host and vital part of Baldwin County's history. The Grand Hotel's green meetings and sustainable food and beverage programs promote conservation practices which include the use of recycled meeting supplies, biodegradable recycled lunch-to-go boxes, and the use of cardboard coolers versus styrofoam coolers for group excursions. Grand Hotel's promotion of sustainable practices is an inspiration, and the Grand Hotel deserves recognition for its distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. Folks would come forward.
There's Blaine.
Next category is small business. The recipient is Cooper Farm, 4-H Community Club. This small family-owned and operated farm offers fruit trees and other gardening plants for sale, as well as community education on gardening, mulching, and other basic homesteading techniques. Community education events offer alternatives to harsh fertilizers through the use of composting and other low-impact techniques. Cooper Farm is also the sponsor of the Foley 4-H Community Club. This club plays a vital role in encouraging the younger generation to preserve our agriculture heritage. By instilling excitement about agriculture in children, they aim to shape a future generation that cares for the environment, continues our agricultural history, and to potentially pursue a career in farming. Cooper Farm's sponsorship of the Foley 4-H Club is an inspiration and deserves recognition for the program's distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. Folks from Cooper Farm, please come forward.
All right.
In the next category, education program, the recipient is Jessica Sampley from Gulf Shores High School Career Tech Program. Jessica Sampley is the Director of Academies and Career Tech Program at Gulf Shores City Schools. She supervises and leads a variety of initiatives in the school district and works closely with all academies, electives, sustainability, and STEAM programs. She started the Gulf Shores High School Sustainability Academy, which includes Gulf Coast Sciences, ecotourism, and plant science and gardening programs. Jessica's passion for the Career Tech program is an inspiration, and she deserves recognition for the program's distinguished service, strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. Jessica? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The fifth category, education teacher, Tammy Grace, environmental education. Tammy Grace is an outstanding champion for conservation and environmental education at Stapleton Elementary School. Her environmental efforts include the school's participation in Alabama PALS, People Against a Littered State, Adopt a Stream, and Alabama Wildlife Federation outdoor classroom programs. Mrs. Grace's conservation legacy continues through her students who have learned about the importance of taking care of the environment through numerous lessons taught directly by her as well as by experts she brought into her classroom. Most importantly, however, the students have learned from the powerful example of her personal commitment and her passionate advocacy for nature. Mrs. Grace's servant heart has been transmitted directly to her students, and they have become school champions for conservation. Mrs. Grace's environmental impact on her students is an inspiration, and she deserves recognition for her distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. In the next category, environmental organizations, the recipients are Tom and Lori Eberly, the Little Lagoon Oyster Gardening Program. Tom and Lori Eberly are very active members of the Little Lagoon Preservation Society and contribute to the volunteer nonprofit organization in many ways, including administering the Little Lagoon Oyster Gardening Program. The oysters provide real benefits to the Little Lagoon in the form of water filtration and quality habitat. In 2023, the program grew over 54,000 oysters. These oysters not only benefited the water quality of Little Lagoon, but were also used to restock 2.74 acres of closed reef restoration sites in Mobile Bay, repopulating the oyster reefs and providing shoreline protection. The Everly's volunteer work with the Little Lagoon Preservation Society is an inspiration. They deserve recognition for their distinguished service and their strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. The next category is government employee. The recipient is Angie Ekman, Water Watch Steward. Angela Ekman is the environmental manager for the city of Fairhope. Her unwavering commitment to community engagement is what sets Angie apart. She goes above and beyond in assisting not only the citizens of Foley, but also those throughout Baldwin County. As an Alabama Water Watch monitor, she actively contributes to the protection and monitoring of our local waterways. Moreover, Angie generously shares her knowledge as a trainer, empowering others to become proficient in water quality monitoring. Her role in handling water testing chemicals for the entire county highlights her organizational skills, demonstrating responsibility and overseeing inventory and storage. Her sustained involvement underscores her commitment to preserving our coastal ecosystems and fostering a sense of responsibility within the community. Angie is an outstanding government employee. She deserves recognition for her distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. Angie?
Angie, doesn't she? Do you work for the city of Foley, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it was just an error. Said Fairhope earlier.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I want to make sure everybody knows it's Foley.
Okay. I'll restate that. Angie is the manager of the city of Foley. Next category, individual citizen. The recipients are Pittman, Turner, and Milling families. The category is TT Swamp Land Donation. In 2023, the Pittman, Turner, and Millings families donated 65 acres of wetlands in the TT Swamp along Scenic 98 in Fairhope to the South Alabama Land Trust for Perpetual Conservation. TT Swamp has been identified as a critical coastal conservation area by the Mobile Bay National Estuary Program. This conservation of this land ensures that it will continue to serve as a coastal wildlife habitat, flood mitigation, and water quality treatment. The Pittman, Turner, and Millings families deserve recognition for the perpetual conservation of this portion of TT Swamp. The donation reflects the high value that they place on the natural environment and their commitment to preserve open space for the benefit of the community. Their gift is an inspiration and deserves recognition for their distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens in Baldwin County.
Tie-tie.
Oh, it's
Tie-tie.
I'm sorry. Tie-tie. I'll make a correction there. It's the tie-tie swamp, not the TT swamp.
You're reading a lot, so.
Next category, student initiative. The award recipient is Cade Kickler from the Lillian Recreational Park Wildlife Viewing Area. Cade Kickler is an Eagle Scout with Scout Troop 70 in Alberta. Cade designed, organized, and implemented an Eagle Scout project to provide a native tree and flower garden, birdhouses, picnic tables, and informational signage for the Lillian Recreation Park. The wildlife viewing area is a very special place. This wonderful project will encourage people to come, sit, relax, enjoy, and learn about the environment for years to come. Cade's leadership skills have been shown throughout this project. Cade's Eagle Scout project is an inspiration, and he deserves recognition for his distinguished service and strong commitments to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County.
Congratulations, Cade.
He skipped one. It's the Orange Beach one. Government agency.
Government agency.
No?
Oh, yeah.
This one right here at the top. Read this one right here.
Okay. All right. Skipped one, sorry. The category is government agency. The recipient is Orange Beach Wildlife Center, the Wildlife Rehab and Restoration. Orange Beach Wildlife Center and Management Program offers services for situations involving injured and orphaned wildlife. There is a limited availability for such services in Baldwin County, and it is a great credit to Orange Beach that it rises to meet and manage the need. The center's mission is to provide learning experience for interns, engaging support for the community, from the community. The Center and Management Program deserves recognition for its distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. And the final category, it's a special recognition, and the recipient, Andrew Ernest James. Our last award will be in honor and memory of the late Andrew Ernest James, who we lost in a tragic accident last year. Andrew was a licensed professional engineer who was highly skilled in water resources, hydraulics, environmental engineering, construction engineering, and transportation engineering, who tirelessly worked to restore streams, build sustainable roadways, design context-sensitive developments, all while protecting and enhancing the natural environment. Andrew played an intricate part in many watershed restoration projects throughout Baldwin County, including projects in Dolive Creek, Fish River, Magnolia River, Bon Secours River, and Sandy Creek watersheds. Andrew will be remembered as an exceptional civil engineer who cared deeply for his community and environment. Andrew's environmental legacy is an inspiration, and it deserves recognition for his distinguished service and strong commitment to the environment, our community, and all the citizens of Baldwin County. And that includes the 2024 Environmental Stewardship Awards. and I'll turn it over to Ashley.
Thank you. We will now come up front and take a picture. Our commissioners will stand in the back because we have a large crowd. So if you will please stand in front, line up in front. Brett, will you help guide them? And we will take a group picture, and then the resolution will be voted on, and we will have commission comments.
Thank you.
Come on.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for doing this.
All right, I think we're going to have to stack, double stack. So will some of the shorter up front? We're going to have to get in here.
Short one's in the front.
Hey, you tall guys, you gotta go to the edge.
All right, come on in here. Come on. Y'all, come on in.
Tall people in the front.
Come on in. We might have to have some by Tammy and April.
Ashley's got it.
Yes, sir.
Let's see.
All right, we need y'all to come on in.
They're gonna have to have about 3 rows.
You got them?
I got to find a short person to get mine.
I think we can get this. Get a little bit closer.
Yeah, come on in. Here, get me one.
You're good. You're good. No, you're fine. Stay right there. I don't need to be in the picture.
So, American Queen, if you're come on in. Yeah. Probably have to come a little higher. Is that it?
Come on. If y'all were ever in the military, you know what to do.
American Queen. All right.
Jeb,
Everybody ready?
I'm doing it.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Thank you.
Award recipients, please be seated, and then we will vote on the resolution. The commission will vote on the resolution, and then we will have some comments.
Thank y'all.
I'll catch on next.
Hey, thank you so very much.
Okay, I think as soon as everybody gets seated, Ashley's turned it back over to us, right? So it's time for us to do our job, and let's pass this resolution. So, commissioners,
I make a motion that we approve resolution.
do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, we'll go ahead and vote on the resolution, and then the commissioners can make their comments. So all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Okay. You know, it's great to see this organization doing what it's doing, you know, to help with our environment, and the recipients was spectacular this year. I think, you know, they made some very fine decisions in their selection. You know, this program's been going on for many, many years. It died on the vine several years ago, and we brought it back to life because it was so important for the county to continue to improve our environmental work that we try to do, and show that the citizens, you know, of the county, that, you know, we are truly very sensitive about our environment, because that's what makes Baldwin County what it is today. It's the environment that brings everybody here. Here's our beaches and everything else, you know, and all the other stuff, and our wildlife, and I mean, it goes on and on and on. You know, oystering is one thing. You know, it was lost for a while. It's coming back. So, you know, it was very important, you know, that this committee came back to life, and they are doing a remarkable thing, and I want to personally thank them for all the hard work that they do to putting into this. They meet quite a bit, and, you know, their selections, you couldn't have been any better than what it was. So thank you all very much, and congratulations to all the recipients. Thank you.
Commissioner McKenzie?
Echo what Commissioner Gruber said. It's awesome what y'all do. It's a lot of commitment, and thank you. Before I got up here on the commission, I didn't know how many organizations were out here in Baldwin County and what they did. So thank you for what y'all do, and thank you for your commitment.
Commissioner Ball?
Yep, thanks to the committee for, again, selecting a great group of individuals to receive awards. And like Commissioner Gruber said, it's much needed for us to have a group like this and people that receive these awards in our community that help us maintain the quality of life here on what I would say the best place on earth to live. So we want to keep it that way, and groups like this help us do that. And again, what an honor and privilege it is to sit up here and present these awards, and thank everyone that was here today.
Okay, so I'll wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and call out your names again because I think that we can get them all at one time. I think that is so important and echo everything everyone has already said. But thank you to each and every one of these. We have the Baldwin County Soil and Water Conservation District, the Grand Hotel, the Cooper Farm 4-H program, Jessica Sampley with Gulf Shores High School Career Tech program, Tammy Grace from, which, Stapleton, was that right? Okay, yeah. That wasn't on the list. Oh, well, it's probably in the resolution. Tom and Laurie Eberly, Angie Ekman. Hang on a second. I go to the next page here. And then we have the Pittman, Turner, and Milling families, Orange Beach Wildlife Center, Cade Kickler, and last but not least, to the family of Andrew James. There is several on here that I know about your programs, and I'm so impressed. And there's some I don't know about your programs, but there's a couple on here that I want to call out. And Jessica from Gulf Shores High School, I saw you do your presentation up at the RC&D meeting back in, I believe it was January. Super impressed. I would love to invite you to come back and give that presentation to us at one of maybe our work session. If you want to, I'll let you pick if you want to come to Fairhope or if you want to go to Bay Minette, okay? And you guys would be so impressed with what she and the Gulf Shores High School program is doing. I know they're doing some programs at other schools, but I got to see the presentation that you gave, and to see what these young students are doing was so inspiring to me. I mean, these guys are down there doing, they're scuba diving in high school, and I'm like, wow. I mean, we barely had money to buy sneakers to play basketball when I was in high school. So you had to buy them yourself back then. I guess you still do. I don't know. But anyhow, and Miss Kitty, I'm so happy to meet you finally from Cooper Farm. I read your article that you put in the Gulf Coast Media. I am one of the few in this room. I won't make you raise your hands if you still get the printed press, but I do. My husband is aggravated because I get it because it piles up on my kitchen table before I throw it away, but, well, I should be, it's not saying that, I probably should be recycling it, but until Terry Graham gets me that recycle bin for my house, it's a little awkward, but nonetheless, we use it to start the grill sometimes, clean the grill. I'll stop. Okay. But there's many others of you on here that deserve recognition. As far as, I don't want to keep you guys up here. I know my colleagues are probably saying, when is she going to stop? Well, to each and every one on here, thank you. Thank you to the Environmental Advisory Committee for doing what you do. We appreciate it. It is so, so important to Baldwin County. And I guess that's it, because we've already voted on your resolution. You've already gotten your plaques. We've gotten the photo. And if you want to stay for the rest of our meeting, you are more than welcome. Nicole's back there going, So, no. Well, you know, this is probably the highlight of what we get to do here is things like this. Because next up is P&Z. I think, yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yep. We have another but anyways, that's coming. Thank you, guys. If you guys want to exit the building, we'll give y'all a second.
Be careful.
Thank you.
It's an engineer's presentation. You're going to love it if you stay.
Thank you.
Good. We'll let them file out.
guys, if we could have some silence here, we're going to continue on with our meeting as you guys exit the building. Mr. Ackerman.
Yes, we got a public hearing for the Baldwin County Commission for a right-of-way vacation of a proposed portion of Rosalia Avenue. This is located in Lillian, Alabama. So this is a vicinity map of where this is located. It is just before you go over the Highway 98 bridge. It's to the right. It's the last exit. It's the last county road, which is County Road 99. And about 1 block off of that intersection is 7th Street. So at the intersection of 7th Street and County Road 99, in and around that area is a little business called Gigi's Deli. And so what we have is about 70 years of history at this location of convoluted right-of-way that was either vacated, not vacated, land that was given that may not have been able to be given or sold. And so what we're trying to do today is clean all that up through this process. So the reason we are here today and where this all started was we received notice of parking that had been constructed in what we believe to be public county right-of-way, which is 7th Street. We investigated and we did find parking that had been built without a permit. We contacted the owner, Mr. Bellers, of the Gigi's Deli, and said, you have parking in a public right-of-way. He said, well, I own that property. Free and clear. I bought it. And so we did our title search on the property, and it turns out it has exchanged hands multiple times over the last 50 years, probably about a half a dozen times. So we went back and researched. We felt in our research that the right-of-way was not legally able to transfer hands. However, there is some discrepancies in the title record. And so just to try to clean that up, that's included in this discussion today. So this is the property Mr. Bellers owns. And so through the process of researching for 7th Street, we also discovered 70 years ago there was a piece of right-of-way dedicated to the county that had never been vacated in our records or had never been quitclaimed to anybody else. And so approximately 1/3 of Mr. Beller's property is actually owned by the county based on our records. Mr. Bellers hired a title company. He did all the stuff he should do, the due diligence he should do. This going back that far, and it only shows up one time in the title records that we researched. So that is also going to be part of this resolution and try to clean up this whole mess. And so we met with Mr. Bellers on site, showed him the maps of the property we believe we own, the 7th Street right-of-way we believe we own as well, and discussed to him that there has been a lot of discrepancies that we found in that title record. And I said, look, if we're going to clean this up, we'd also like to have the opportunity in the future to accommodate a right turn lane should we ever need one on this property. So if we're going to do all this work today, let's try to get a little corner piece that we would need to facilitate a right turn lane to go on to 7th Street. We have our public boat launch off of 7th Street, so there is a strong chance in the future that a right turn lane would be warranted in this location. And this little corner clip doesn't look like much, but actually gives us what we need to be able to make that right turn movement in there in the future. No plans for the immediate need for it, but we wanted to go ahead and secure everything we need going forward. So the problem is now if we get the 7th Street quit claim back to the county, Mr. Bellers at some point is going to have to remove his parking. If we quit claim the triangular shaped piece within his property back to him, still doesn't leave a lot of room. He's already got buildings, he's already got structures in here. So what we're recommending is we quit claim, or we vacate, I apologize, we vacate a small portion of the Rosalia Avenue right-of-way. Now, when we vacate a right-of-way that's bound by two separate property owners, that right-of-way has to be split between those two if the vacation moves forward. So if it does move forward today, that vacation, half of that right-of-way would go towards Mr. Bellers, and the other half would go to Baldwin LLC, which is the property owner south of Rosalia Avenue. Now, with this additional property that if we vacate it, Mr. Bellers would have enough room to relocate his parking at some point in the near future, and we were able to clean up the 7th Street right-of-way, and we would also be able to accommodate his needs of his business. It's an existing business. He did everything he thought he was doing. He bought property, he developed that property, did everything as he was supposed to do, and we just found a lot of inconsistencies in the title records. And so today, if we can do the following, Mr. Bellers has signed a quitclaim deed already to us for the 7th Street. So he would quitclaim any holdings of 7th Street to the county. It would free and clear 7th Street going back to 1970. We would be able to clean that up. We, in exchange, would quitclaim that triangle-shaped piece to Mr. Bellers. That would clean up 70 years of discrepancies on that piece of property. And then if we are able to vacate the small portion of Rosalia Avenue, then that also would give Mr. Bellers the room he would need to move that parking off of 7th Street and onto his property.
Okay.
And so that is, our staff recommendations are the following. We approve the request from Mr. Bellers and Bertie Bellers and Bradlin LLC to vacate a portion of Rosalia Avenue, being a 60-foot right-of-way, contingent upon Mr. Bellers and Mrs. Bellers executing the quitclaim deeds. They have signed their house of the quitclaim deed, so that has been accomplished. And then second, we would adopt a resolution which would approve the vacation in accordance with the state statute 23-4-2 and section 23-4-20 of the Code of Alabama, 1975. And that does require a public hearing, which would immediately follow in this presentation. So then we would authorize the chairman to execute a quitclaim deed conveying any and all rights entitled to the portion of properties as previously described by Baldwin County located at the intersection of County Road 99 and Rosalia Avenue to Ronald Bellers and Bertie Bellers, and that would also be contingent upon the Rosalia Avenue vacation. And this would clean up that little corner within his property.
Okay, so
with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
We've heard the staff report. Is there any questions before we close the regular meeting and open the public hearing?
I know this has been going on many years, trying to get this resolved.
Yes, Mr. Bellers has been very patient. We've been trying to work with him to resolve 70 years. It was 1954 when that first piece of property was warranty deeded to the county. And so this has been a 70-year process that we can resolve today if everything moves forward.
Well, there's a lot of unopened right-of-ways out there, and this is one that sounds like it needs the attention. So, okay. That being said, we're going to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, ma'am. I have Ronald Bellers.
Mr. Bellers, if you'll come to the microphone.
Yeah, my name is Ronald Bellers, and I'd like to thank you guys for looking at this, and it'd be nice to get it settled up, because I don't know, it's even my neighbor behind me, for the other, that would help there too, because I've had a lot of trouble with homeless down there, and I've done my share of cleaning up.
Okay.
And I just want to thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else signed up to speak?
We just have a representative from Bradland LLC if needed.
Do you have anything you need to add that would staff cover it? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Okay, and anyone else that didn't sign up to speak that would like to speak on this case? Hearing none, close the public hearing. Commissioners.
Madam Chairman, make a motion that we approve case number VAC-24-1, vacation of a portion of Rosalia Avenue being a 60-foot right-of-way in Lillian, Alabama.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion before we go to vote? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Motion carries. Thank you. Next, I didn't give the little spiel before this because we had people exiting the building, but I just want to remind everyone that any individuals that are wishing to speak during the public hearing must fill out a speaker form. Comments from individuals should be limited to 3 minutes. Groups are asked to select a spokesperson to speak on behalf of the group with comments limited to 5 minutes. I do adhere to that pretty much. So if you wish to speak, be sure if you haven't filled out a speaker form, go grab it and get it turned in. I will give you the opportunity to speak if you have not done that at this point in time. So with that being said, we have our next, our first case number, and Ms. Selena.
All right. This is the Bernholt property. It's a request to rezone 41 acres from rural agricultural to RSF1, single family. It is located in Planning District 32. It's on the southeast corner of County Road 95 and County Road 26. It consists of 41 acres, and the applicant is asking that it be rezoned to RSF1 to allow for a single-family subdivision. Here are the factors staff considered when writing the staff report. You can see some are met, some are not, and then there's two that are on the line that's questionable. Here is the locator map. You can see the subject property is surrounded by RA zoning with mostly residential and some farming. Staff has remained neutral on this case, and the Planning Commission recommended denial at their March meeting, 10-1. Here is some pictures of the property, adjoining property to the south, west, and north, and here's the property to the east. The current zoning requirements for the RA is a minimum of 3 acres. The proposed zoning requirements for the RSF1 is a minimum lot area of 30,000 square feet. Since the original zoning map in 1995, there have not been many changes in this area. For the master plan, there are multiple place types that are located on the subject property: ideal conservation, and rural. There wasn't many agency comments other than the Highway Department will look at, and Wade Clements, our permit engineer, will look at the turnouts during the subdivision process if this rezoning is approved. And this is a proposed layout that the applicant asked me to show to the commission, but just remember this is only for the rezoning and not the subdivision.
Okay. Any questions for Selena before we open the public hearing?
The only question that I have, Ms. Boykin, is that the census from the Planning and Zoning Commission, you said it was 10-1? I can't remember. 10-1?
That's correct, yes.
What did you feel? What did you get from them why they went 10-1?
All right. Well, in the motion that was made to deny it, the reason they gave was the incompatibility with the master plan.
Okay.
You want to put that, it has the check marks and the green and the red back up there. Could you put that slide back up there? Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Any other questions for staff before we open the public hearing?
I'd like to also say we did receive a petition yesterday, and I believe maybe y'all got copies or as an addendum to this.
Okay. All right. That being said, we are closing the regular meeting and open the public hearings for this case number Z24-01. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, ma'am. First, we have Jeannie Petrovich.
Would you please come to the microphone?
I've seen her somewhere. I can't remember. I saw her.
Are you speaking on your behalf or on behalf of a group?
No, I'm just one of the neighbors. So
Okay,
I guess for me, but
So you have 3 minutes.
My agreement on the petition.
We're against it, too. She can speak. We're all against it. She can speak for the
Okay, are y'all signed up to speak?
Aye.
So you're going to yield your time? I mean, the 5 minutes? Okay. All right, just pull the microphone to your phone. Up to your phone.
Wait a minute, it's in my pocketbook.
To your, closer to your mouth. And, if you're, go ahead.
Okay.
We'll start the timer.
Okay, well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, the reason that I'm I signed up to speak and signed the petition is I've been living on York Lane for 17 years now. It's off of Archie Road and John Block Road. So I go by the area where the houses are going to be put, and I guess there's going to be like 27. There may be 27 houses that are going to go into that piece of property. One of the things that while living there, Leaderman at one time, that's just a little ways over, part of the road collapsed, and so all the cars that would go go back and forth, they had to go around. They came down Archie Road, which leads over to the area. And it was amazing the amount of traffic. I couldn't believe there was that much traffic. And many people would just like fly right through. And one of the other things, so that this traffic will, where those houses are, is going to create a lot of traffic. And 95 now, they can go 55 miles an hour, where the other side streets are maybe 35, 25 under the archways where the trees are. And so it's going to make it hard for neighbors to just go for a walk with their dog or whatever. The other thing I noticed when that road was down, so that now I know there's going to be a lot of traffic, and some of the traffic still comes, but not like it was when that road was collapsed. I used to take my dogs for a walk down Archie Road, and that's like a shortcut people could cut through. And so I'd always bring a trash bag. If you're taking the dogs for a walk, I might as well pick up some trash. And so there wasn't always a whole lot of trash, but then when the cars started going through, I noticed a lot of trash. There'd be, whether it's beer bottles or soda or food that was cartons that were thrown out and stuff. And so I feel like it's almost like opening Pandora's box, having more traffic coming through there, and they're just, side roads, and that it'll really affect the environment. I don't know how it's going to work with all the traffic that's going through and flying.
Traffic is something that would be addressed during a subdivision process. I'm not trying to, this is a use question. Do we change it from agriculture to residential?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up, because, it's not my choice to how you change it. You're all in charge. But I just wanted to give you the information, because, you can't make a good choice without all the information.
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
No. I was just saying that, it went through and it created a lot more trash and not good for walking, and it's changed the whole environment. So that's all I wanted.
Thank you so much for your comments.
Okay.
Next person.
I have John Vallis.
Okay.
And next I have Trevor White.
Good afternoon. I live, Trevor White, I live about a quarter mile north of the proposed subdivision. I'd like to talk on two different things, really, would be of why I'm against it, would be infrastructure and compatibility with the area. If you look up and down County Road 26, it is nothing but farmland. I don't know, the aerial shot they showed really zoomed in and showed houses, but it's 400 plus acres of farmland. The infrastructure, we're still a volunteer-based fire department. We had an accident on the corner where this is proposed the other night, and it had a 31-minute response time. That right there is double what the national standard is for EMS standards. So by changing this from RA to RSF1, increasing the population, potential population, because the subdivision's not up for talks yet, you're really going to be bringing in more of a problem before we address the issue of infrastructure and growing the community healthily, or a more healthy development than throwing neighborhoods up. I just ask that we follow the master plan and look at the planning and zoning's recommendation for denial and grow the community the proper way.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
David Dow.
Good morning, Commissioner. David Deal with SC Civil. As you know, most of the applications you see come in here are normally asking for much higher density. Obviously, with the median household income in Baldwin County being around $60,000 a year, it's really hard to create developments that are attainable for people. In this situation, we have a developer that's wanting to do something a little different. Normally, when we're proposing lots of this size, they will end up being very expensive lots based on land cost, infrastructure costs, whatnot. We've been working really hard to try to find a location to do something like this. This 40 acres, when you take into account the topography and the wetlands that are there, we cannot figure out a way to, at the 30,000 square foot minimum, get more than 27 lots. So we actually are going to end up with less than one lot per acre. It's very low density, estate type lot, and I do realize right around us is a lot of agricultural land, but you also have Lake Osprey right there, which I've worked on, that's very dense. You've got some industrial property to the south, and I believe some B3 to the south as well, so it's not like it's all agricultural. But we feel like this will be a very good, low-density development and environmentally friendly as well. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Anyone else signed up to speak? Is there anyone that did not sign up to speak but you wish to speak? If you'll make your way to the podium and give your name.
Hello. I've never actually done this before, so is there a procedure I'm supposed to
just say your name?
Thank you so much for letting me come up.
Just say your name and what you want to tell us.
I live at the end of 26, and what they're not saying and what's not come up on any of this is if you just go 1 mile down the road, cross over 98, still on 95, they're building 300 homes right there. Isn't that enough? When you take away our corner, it's just, I mean, it seems to me if you check out the schools and find out what that is going to do to them, and then you just add more on to it.
So are you for it or against
I'm against it.
Okay, let's make sure I wasn't
I'm
understanding.
definitely against it, simply because they've already got 300 coming up right down the road.
Okay, all right.
And I just don't feel it's fair that they come and take that quiet little community that I bought in there for that reason.
Thank you so much for your comments.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
I actually had not planned this. I sent a letter in, but I am Gwen Block. We live in the community. So I'd like to read it so that others can hear about our area. Dear Baldwin County Commissioners, James Ball, Matthew McKenzie, Billy Joe Underwood, and Charles Gruber. My name is Gwen Block. I'm a lifelong resident of Gulf Shores, Alabama, and a graduate of Foley High School. My husband, Greg Block, was also raised on his family farm located on John Block Road in Alberta, Alabama, and graduated from Foley High School. We're writing to express our strong oppositions to this case filed Z24-00001. The proposed rezoning at County Road 95 and 26 in Alberta, Alabama from agricultural to 27 residential single-family dwellings. Excuse me. We live on John Block Lane, located off of County Road 26. I walk this area regularly and witness the increasing traffic on County Road 26, including residential traffic and cut-through traffic avoiding Highway 98 due to Baldwin County's rapid growth. We own 265 acres located on and off of County Road 26, a third-generation farm with cattle and row crops, and also farm rented property on County Road 95. Additionally, Salzman Farms operates 2 sod farms on County Road 26 and John Block Road, a 27-home subdivision with an average of 2 vehicles per home adds 54 additional vehicles to both County Roads 26 and 95. A subdivision with 27 homes on less than an acre of land each makes no sense in an active farming area. We also experience, I'm not sure, I think I skipped over that, but we have farm machinery going up and down all the area of the roads. Lots of farm machinery going to and from fields. We also have 18-wheelers coming out of the sod farms. So it's a lot of farming traffic in this area. Furthermore, the lack of infrastructure to support additional traffic in this area with no current plans of improvement is highly detrimental. Prioritizing infrastructure improvements to keep with the rapid growth is essential. The rezoning proposal also raises serious concerns about overcrowding in our schools and straining both our police department and volunteer fire departments, particularly the Josephine Fire Department, which is already in a crisis due to a lack of volunteers. Introducing residential development in our rural area will likely increase the demand of emergency services without proportionalizing increase in resources. This could lead to longer response times and compromised capabilities, putting all parties at risk. And finally, encroaching upon active farming land in the area, like the one my husband Greg and I own, could jeopardize the viability of local agricultural. This not only affects farmers' livelihoods, but also threatens the region's food security. As we well know, so many farmers in our areas are being forced out because their back is against the wall with farming, period. They have the opportunity to sell land, and that's what they're doing. In conclusion, we strongly oppose the rezoning of this property from agricultural land to residential in our active farming community. We urge you to prioritize a long-term well-being of our community and reject this ill-conceived rezoning proposal. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Greg
comments.
and Gwen Block.
Timer got a little bit messed up, so you were yielded more time because the timer got messed up, but thank you for your comments.
And I'm reading without a contact.
I get it.
You did good.
Better than I could have done. Anyone else? Speak now. Hurry. State your name.
John Paul Vallis. I am, working with the developer on this project, and I felt like when we went to Planning Commission, it was kind of over in 5 minutes, and I don't think the layout was ever really shown on the big projector. They kind of stuck to this screen or showed the screen where it was going from RA to R1. This is working with the Bornholt family, and she wants to sell, and so we tried to come up with a plan that kind of fit our business model and what we felt like would be most compatible with the area. So, we didn't go ask for R2 or R3. We kind of felt like R1, we could make it work. We're putting 27 lots on 41 acres, and when we drew this up, we really tried to keep in mind all of the concerns we've heard the past 3 years with growth and affordability, and really this plan we felt like came together and gave that a lot of thought. So,
How many acres on that sketch plan are not usable?
Well, I guess
under the sketch plan you committed. I'm not asking you for. You presented a sketch plan, and half of that is wetlands.
Yeah, and we could go through.
Surely you know about the number.
Yeah, absolutely, and we could go through the permitting process.
Just give me a number.
I would say.
8 acres?
8 acres. Yeah.
Okay, looked like more than that, but okay. You have anything else?
That's all.
Thank you for your comments. All right. Okay. public hearing is closed. Commissioners?
Yes,
Madam
Madam.
Chairman, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we deny the request to rezone case number Z24-01, Barnholt property rezoning.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say something. This case is very difficult for me because it's got pros and cons. But the developer wanting to do what he wants to do with or the owner that wants to do this, this is what we need in Baldwin County in one way, is having bigger lots. Everybody's fussing when I got on the commission, hey, what you going to do to stop this growth? What you going to all this high density, these cookie cutter houses? We can't do it. And what I'm getting at is, what I'm saying is, I see the point of what the owner wants to do. It's almost an acre lot. Almost an acre lot. And that's big. But I understand the landowners around that area too. And it doesn't fit in that area. So it is tough, and I want y'all to understand that. And for the lady that came and spoke, I appreciate what you're saying. Because you know what you have over there? We used to have that over here in Fairhope and Barnwell and in this area. And it's coming. Don't know when, but it's coming to your area. Be ready. And I'm just speaking the facts and how I feel, and I'm sorry. But I just want to let you know this was a tough one. This was one I feel that, the planning and zoning got it correct. So, but anyway, that's all I have to say.
Well, this is the discussion portion before we vote. I would just like to say that I believe you stated 1995 was when this area came into zoning, correct? That was some foresight that you guys had in your community for those of you who lived there then. Some of you stood up and said that you'd lived there 17 years, so you weren't there when people who lived there before you made that decision. There are plenty of areas of this county. Yours recently came in, but it wasn't that way. And there's a lot of, I call it the green and yellow map, but there's a map of Baldwin County that shows the entire county, and it shows the municipalities in green. We have 14 municipalities in Baldwin County, and then it shows the zoned districts in yellow. The first item on this list says compatibility. Okay, compatibility is one of the very first factors that you get to consider in these situations. And when it doesn't pass that test, it makes it really, really hard to look at the rest of the test. I get what you're saying about these are bigger lots, but you're also dealing with a complicated piece of property. You said 8 acres, that makes sense because 27 houses, you're not putting an acre a house because you're not using the whole 40 acres and you got some that's not going to probably be used. So I think that RSF 1 is, even though it sounds like it is low density when it comes to residential developments, you're still slap dab in the middle of a lot of agricultural property. So I just wanted to state that I think all the commissioners do this, but I know I do my homework on these cases. I read them, I listen to them, and thank you guys for being here today. All that said, we have a motion and a second to deny this rezoning case. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Unanimous. Motion carries that this rezoning application has been denied. Next case is the Z24-02, the Carolyn Oaks property rezoning.
All right.
Go ahead.
This is a request to rezone. The staff report was prepared by Callum McKenzie, but I will be presenting it. The applicant is asking to rezone 2.91 acres from CR Conservation to B1 Commercial. The subject property is located in Planning District 15. It's located south of Somerset Drive and west of State Highway 181. It's currently vacant. They're asking to rezone 2.91 acres, which the total acreage of this parcel is 9.4 acres. The proposed zoning is B1, professional business, and the applicant is asking for it to be rezoned to B1 for a child care facility and a professional office space. Here are the factors staff considered when writing this staff report. Most of them were met. Here is the locator map. You can see to the south of the subject property, it's zone B2. To the west, there's some City of Daphne. To the north is Somerset, which is zoned RSF2. And to the east is in Planning District 7, which is unzoned. Staff has recommended approval. The Planning Commission recommended denial at their March meeting, 9-2. Here's a picture of the subject property. Here are some pictures of the adjacent properties. The CR Conservation Resource District, these are their zoning requirements. Here is the proposed B1 zoning requirements. As far as being in the area around the subject property, there has been quite a few zoning changes and also some annexations by the City of Daphne. As far as the master plan, it is showing conservation preservation, conservation potential, and high-density development potential. The subject property is located less than a mile from the urban mixed-use center node, which allows for B1 zoning and would include the proposed uses of a daycare and professional office. A subdivision application has been submitted, but it has not come before our Planning Commission yet. They are waiting to see if this property is rezoned, but they do have a subdivision application on hold.
Okay. Any questions? Oh, you don't know.
No, I'm done.
I'm sorry. You are done?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's the day after tax day. I'm a little bit void of sleep this past week, but nonetheless, we are here. I took a sip of Diet Coke, but I think it's lost its caffeine. Any questions for staff before we open the public hearing? None, okay. We're going to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing on this case. Do we have someone signed up to speak?
Yes, ma'am. I have one person, Jessica McDill.
Ms. McDill, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. We appreciate your time this morning. I've got here with me today one of the co-owners of Caroline Oaks Baldwin, Stuart Coleman, one of the co-owners of Latham Development, TJ Maloney, a co-owner of AIM Academy, who would be our daycare owner, Bob Moffitt, as well as our engineer, Zeke Hudson. I'll be speaking on behalf of everyone this morning. We are asking you to rezone this property in complete consistency with the master plan. This B1 used to convert part of the property for use as the daycare, and then the front parcel would be an office. Caroline Oaks Baldwin is an owner-operator of long-term memory care facility. On a regional basis, we own one in Mobile. We intend to remain in this community. We have our daycare facility, our long-term memory care facility on the rear of the property that's getting close to completion. Because of some changes in both wetland jurisdictions and in the planning process, our original project intention was altered and our building had to be relocated, which then gave us the option or forced us to look at what else we might do with the property, and we came up with the daycare and this complementary office layout, which we believe is very consistent and a very complementary use change that fits all of the factors. And I addressed the master plan because on the staff report it had a question mark, but we're only a half a mile from the urban node, and this would be actually more consistent, I think, with your master plan than just Greenbelt. So okay. Glad to answer any questions you may have about the project.
Well, it was a question mark, not a red X. Okay. Any questions?
I have no questions.
All right. Is there anyone else signed up to speak? That's it? Okay, we're going. Is there anyone that didn't sign up to speak that wishes to now speak? Nope. Public hearing is closed.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve case number Z24-02, denying the planning and zoning's recommending of denial. If that's how you state that. I want to approve the case.
I would say a motion to reject the Planning Commission's recommendation of denial and to approve the rezoning.
Make a motion to reject the Planning Commission's motion of denial and to approve this case.
Okay, so we have a motion to reject the recommendation from the Planning Commission, and we want to approve this application. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll go for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It is unanimous. Next item, is the Vaughn property rezoning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
When you are.
This is a rezoning request for Z24-3, the Vaughn property. It was presented in front of the Planning Commission on March 7th by Crystal Bates, and I'll be presenting it here today. The request is to rezone 2.52 acres, a portion of PIN 32492 from RA to B2. The subject property is located in Planning District 22. It is in the southeast corner of County Road 87 and County Road 32. The current use is vacant. The applicant is Broadway Group and the owner is Robert Vaughn. The proposed zoning is to B2 for commercial development. Staff believes that all the factors have been met for this request. Here's the locator map and the site map. Property to the north is unzoned. It is a mixed residential use. Property to the south and east are zoned RSF1 and vacant. And then to the west, we have rural agriculture, which is also vacant. Staff's recommendation is approval, and the Planning Commission recommended approval by a vote of 10-1. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff before we open the public hearing? Hearing none?
Nope.
Regular meeting is closed. Public hearing is open on this case. Is there anyone signed up to speak on the Vaughn property?
Yes, ma'am. I have Deanna Heichi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Deanna Heitch with the Broadway Group, Development Manager, also representing Robert Vaughn, the current owner. We're under contract to purchase if rezone is approved. I don't necessarily have anything to add other than we don't generally ask for rezones unless it's commensurate with your long-term use, and this is commensurate with the use, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay, any questions for? Nope. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
All right. Anyone else signed up to speak on this case? All right. Anyone that didn't sign up wish to speak? Nope. Public hearing's closed. Commissioners?
I'll make a motion that we approve case number Z24-03, the Vaughn property rezoning.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'll second that.
Oh, we already got that. Just want to know if you had anything you want to talk about. Nope. All right, then all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next.
All right, this is case Z24-4, the Lewis property. The request is to rezone 5 acres from RA to B3. It's located in Planning District 22. It's on the south side of US Highway 98 and west of County Road 97 in Alberta. The current use is agricultural, and the applicant and owner is Mr. Michael Lewis. The proposed zoning is for B3, General Business District, for a golf driving range. Staff believes all but one factor have been met in this request. Here's the locator map and the site map. The subject property is surrounded by RA zoning. To the north, south, east, and west, we also see B4 commercial zoning to the east and to the west with agricultural and residential land uses. Here's a closer up look at the locator map as well as the site map. Staff's recommendation is approval, and the Planning Commission also recommended approval by a vote of 11-0 during the March meeting. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. Anyone signed up to speak? All right, anybody that didn't sign up to speak, because we have nobody signed up to speak, but you wish to speak on this case, speak now. Nope. Public hearing's closed. Commissioners?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion we approve case Z2404, the Lewis property rezoning.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Ball and a second by Commissioner Gruber to approve this rezoning request. Any questions? Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And last but not least, are we right? Yay. Zonings are always tough. Rezonings.
All right. This case is Z2405, Curtis property. The applicant is asking a little over 3 acres to be rezoned from RV2 to RR. The subject property is located in Planning District 21, currently zoned RV2, which is a recreational vehicle district, and it is on the north side of County Road 26 and west of Grantham Road. It's currently vacant. It's a little over 3 acres, and the applicant is asking for RR for a proposed restaurant. Here you can see it's zoned RV2, and to the east is RV2, to the west is RSF1, and to the south is RA. To the northwest, there are also some dirt pits, and also an M1 to the west. Some of the factors were met and some were questionable on the line that could go either way. But staff had recommended approval, and the Planning Commission also recommended approval 10-1.
Any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll close the regular meeting. Open the public hearing. Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
I just have one, Scott Curtis.
Mr. Curtis? You still would? Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm just here to represent the property if you got any questions. I do have other maps here that shows there's RR on both sides of this, east and west. This is a corner partial. So our goal is basically to, we was denied on B3. I felt like it's borderline, okay. They recommend we go with this, so that's what we pulled back to. I went R2 RV park. And then we had some changes to where subdivision you had to do hard surface. So bottom line, it wasn't efficient to do that. And this is the route that I'm trying to improve that area. And I recommend anytime y'all in the area, ride through there too. I also have, will y'all take something I hand out and look? Or okay. And there's only 3 color photos that shows that it's a truck route through there. I guess the state or the county recommends the traffic go that way.
I think it's the town of Magnolia Springs.
Ma'am?
I think it's due to the town of Magnolia Springs. It's not the county.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well,
you are.
It's okay.
I'll hand these
we get
out.
blamed for a lot of things.
Okay, what's on both sides?
I guess I get defensive sometimes. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. This is just show.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
This just shows more detail. And that's all I got to say. Just if I have any questions from here.
Okay. Any questions for the gentleman?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody that didn't sign up to speak but you wish to speak on this topic? Nope. Public hearing's closed. Commissioners?
Make a motion, we approve case number Z24-05, the Curtis property rezoning.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I'd just like to say that compatibility, I've said earlier in the previous cases that were up here, is very important to me. And when it's a question mark, I know staff was really struggling with this one, but I read all the reports, and I think this is understandable that there was a question and not just a check mark. So All right. With that being said, all those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Brings us down to, we took care of everything else, didn't we? Yeah. All right. Is there anyone from the public who has signed up that wants to speak just on public comments that's in the audience today? No? Okay. Anybody from the press? Man, we are rocket docking at this part. My nephew used to be a lawyer, and they talked about rocket dockets. I kind of think about that sometimes. I think that was drug court. I've got to laugh every now and then. Commissioner comments. Commissioner McKenzie, you're awake right now. Go ahead.
Yesterday, I was, or I think most of us were, probably all of us were probably invited to go down there to the Guff State Park, and I happened to show up, and they've got new cabins that's been built at the Lake Shelby, and it was just nice to see all the new cabins being built after Hurricane Sally. But I just want to let people know that they're back up, they're ready to go. People start renting them. It looks very nice. They look very nice. They got some ADA ones. Commissioner Blankenship was down there to do the ceremony, the ribbon cutting, but it was very nice. So I just want to say thank you for inviting us, and staff, thank y'all for what y'all do. Putting this together, and all the people that the environmental groups that won their award, so thank you.
Okay. Jeb or Skip?
Sure.
Skip.
All right. First of all, thank the staff for their hard work getting this agenda going, and thank Ashley and then for getting this environmental stuff, bringing it to the commission. Y'all did a lot of hard work to get that. And again, it's very, very important that we keep in mind that the environment is, what people want to see here in Baldwin County. We had several rezonings and other stuff, and, we're still growing. So we got a lot, we still have a lot of work to do, and making sure that we do it right. And last thing I want to say, I want to give a shout out to the staff at the South Baldwin Regional Medical Center. I had the unfortunate to visit them for several days, and I just want to say the staff and them were fabulous. They did. I couldn't ask for better care than what I received. And I think it's very important. And talking with the nurses and everyone else, and it's good, to see that there's a caring staff and that out there trying to help the people who are trying to recovery from whatever it is. So again, a great big shout out to the staff at the South Baldwin Regional Medical Center, and like I say, I appreciate everything that they did for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Jeff?
Yes, thanks to the staff for all the work that went into this meeting today, and all the work that goes in every single day to help us run efficiently. We definitely could not do it without you guys. Also, just commending the people who received the awards today again for the environmental awards, and thanking Ashley for her persistence on keeping that committee going. And like Commissioner Gruber said, it's good to have it back up and running. One thing I did want to say is I noticed that in that guy that was doing the driving range, one of these rezonings we just did, maybe driving ranges, golf driving ranges aren't mentioned in our master plan anywhere, and we may need to look at calling those types of something. I mean, I don't know what you would call it, but, it's confusing if it's not even mentioned in the master plan. And I watched the meeting on this, and the guy has a really neat concept where there's not even any employees out there. You just drive up and everything is done for you with machines and stuff. So, it's definitely an asset to the community, and I feel like at some point we need to incorporate that in with our comprehensive plan. So I'll give that task to Jay and Roger, and then we can work that in there somewhere as far as what we can name that type of, because it could be just as well as, I don't know what could, recreation and sports or something like that, because it's stumping our planning staff when they're having to make these recommendations. I don't think they ever, in my history of being there, ever approved of golf range, driving range. So these types of things are popping up now, and I think people would rather see a golf driving range somewhere than subdivisions. So, and people did say that there'd be nets up there so balls aren't going to hit houses and things. So, pretty neat idea. Anyway, that's all.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. I just want to make a comment about planning and zoning and how that there are 67 counties in the state of Alabama. There are only a couple of counties who even have any type of zoning out in the unincorporated area. So when I mentioned that it's complicated and it's tough and it's one of the hardest things that commissioners have to do, it is. Because we meet with other commissioners, we network throughout the state, and they have no idea what we have to do. But if we had not had this vision back in the 1990s, long before, hey, I was going to college back then, none of this, no, I was more worried about passing. I didn't really like statistics, but I was worried about passing my classes. I wasn't worried about what was going on out here. I was only in my 20s, okay? And so nothing matters till it matters is a statement that I know he ain't the only person ever said it, but Sonny Brasfield from that Alabama County Commission Association always talks about that. And that is the case with planning and zoning. Nothing matters till it matters, And so whenever these districts came into zoning back in the 1990s, all the way up to some that have just elected to do that, it is still only a portion of this county. There is still a lot of unzoned areas of this county. But we do have subdivision regulations in Baldwin County that cover the entire county. There's only about a dozen, unless a few have come into it recently, out of the whole 67 counties that even have subdivision regulations, let alone a nice environmental advisory committee and things like that. But that is one of the reasons why people are choosing to come here and live in Baldwin County. And people tell us all the time, can't you stop this growth? I'm like, you don't stop growth, you try to have responsible growth. And so those are all things that we have done, people before us have done, to help make Baldwin County more responsible. Now, if you live in one of these areas, like I do, where it's unzoned, your only hope is that they do check all the boxes on the subdivision regulations and they do the best job they can. So zoning is one of the hardest things that I think that we do. I used to wonder, what's going to be the hardest thing when you become a county commissioner? Is it going to be dealing with mean people or stuff like that? No. Most people are not mean. It's just when nothing matters till it matters. That's usually what. A few people are mean, but most people are not. And so I just wanted to say that. I don't know who might hear this or who might listen to that, but if I ever make a comment about P&Z, it's because it's hard. It is not easy, and we have a fantastic staff. They work really, really hard, and I want to just commend you. But that's not the only department at this county that works hard. Everybody at this county works hard. These agendas, if you actually looked at how many pages they encompass, it is massive. And so as soon as this meeting is over, staff is already working on ones, probably already working on the ones for the next meetings coming up. But all that said, thank you, staff. Thank you, everybody. Yesterday was tax day. Today is the 16th of April. Tomorrow, I think somebody up here is having a birthday, and it's not me, Matt, or Skip, but anyhow. That being said, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
See you guys next time.